everybody, it's John DePietro. Welcome to another edition of Top Entrepreneur. I'm here in central Massachusetts, and I'm talking with Paul Hemphill from Pre-College Prep. Paul? There's Paul.
Hi, John.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Pre-College Prep, tell me a little bit about what that does.
Well, basically what I do is that I'm a private college admissions coach and a financial aid specialist, where I work with parents on being able to afford college and give them all kinds of strategies to do that. And I also market the student to the colleges to which they're going to be applying. There's an awful lot of work, an awful lot of time involved in it, but it's a work I love. I love these kids, they're talented, and it's a very exciting business.
Paul, sending a student to college today is not only a difficult issue emotionally, but financially. You're beating some people up. Or I should say you're beating them up. You're trying to eliminate the punch.
Exactly. And what I try to do is to give the parent the strategies that are going to be effective in getting them more financial aid. And in my book, I outline 22 income strategies and 5 asset strategies that they can use. And so I try to see if a client, when I see their financial statement, if there's room for me to be able to implement some of the strategies that I recommend.
Paul, there's a lot of people that think, well, I make a certain amount of money, I'm not even going to be eligible for financial aid, so I'm not even going to apply.
Big mistake.
Okay.
Big mistake.
Why is that?
Well, this is kind of my personal opinion that's going to be injected into this conversation that I have with all of my clients. I believe that a student should have some skin in the game, some responsibility about paying for their own education. So if a guy makes $3 million a year, he ought to be able to take out, or he should take out a financial aid form called a FAFSA form, and have the student be responsible for $27,000 worth of loans that they're going to be paying back after they graduate from college. So it doesn't matter what your income is, you do qualify for financial aid. I'll show you how that's done.
Paul, tell us a little bit about your company prior to, how'd you come up with the idea, first of all?
Well, first of all, this is kind of a revenge moment for me.
Now you've got our curiosity. Tell us what you mean by that.
That's when my firstborn was going through college. I had, in essence, retired. I was told that I didn't qualify for any financial aid because I made too much money, I had too many assets. And so as a result, I was writing out these happy checks every month to a private college in Rhode Island. And I was told I just didn't qualify for financial aid by some very top financial planners in Boston. And in retrospect, these guys didn't know what they were talking about. So as a result of the colleges the colleges are a business. They're not going to tell you how to get more money out of them.
Right.
So I had to find that out for myself the hard way after my first one graduated. So when my second one came along, I was ready.
You were ready. So how long was the process to starting this business, and how long has it been in operation?
Well, I've been doing this for, I'm going on my 10th year right now. And the preparation for getting into this took me for at least a good year because I was researching everything I could get my hands on. And part of that research was accumulating a lot of information, which came out in the form of a book, which I've revised about 2 or 3 times.
Right. What is the name of the book?
It's called How to Win the College Game. It's available on Amazon.com.
How to Win the College Game. And spell your last name so if people search by author, they can find it out.
Yeah, if you put in Paul Hemphill, you're going to get my cousin who's written 18 books and his obituary. So you want to put in Paul Lloyd Hemphill, Hemphill, and you'll get my 2 books that I've written. The second one is a book on leadership, which has received an awful lot of really good press and acknowledgement.
Okay, what is your background prior to leading up to this business?
Well, I've been in marketing for about 25 years, and to really illustrate how I work, I had a fellow with a British accent one time say to me, "What exactly are you going to do for my daughter?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to design, package, and market her to all the colleges." And he said, in 2 words, "How crass." And figuring that I had been insulted by his 2 words, I came back with my 2-word response, and I said, "Thank you." And he wanted to know what I meant by that.
Appreciate your kind words.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, well, the colleges hire guys like me to design all those beautiful brochures that stuff your mailbox so your daughter can come running into the house and say, oh my gosh, Daddy, I want to go to this school.
Okay, so you came from the other side of the fence.
Yeah, so I said to the guy, all I do is just turn the guns around on the colleges. He said, I like that. So the point here is, it's not about good grades and good SAT scores anymore. It's about presentation. It's about packaging your student. And I deliberately use the word packaging because that's really what it's all about. Now,
and everything in business is really about packaging. Like we're in a McDonald's right now, and they've got a new look to it with the new soft colors. It's not the old red and yellow.
Exactly.
And presentation is so important when you're presenting that child, because people probably need to realize that there are colleges that want your student.
Absolutely. So I make the most unattractive student look very attractive. And I have parents who are absolutely astonished at what it is I do. Of course, it's interesting. One of the methods that I employ, I don't mention in my book, I don't mention in my seminars. In fact, when I'm sitting down with a prospect who's considering hiring me, I say to them, I'm not going to tell you about this particular approach until after the check clears.
Okay. Paul, let me ask you this question. Who is your customer?
My customer is the parent who has a student in high school and has a concern about getting that student into the right fit college. My parents...
By right fit, you mean financially as well as scholastically.
Exactly. I will not work, this is the other side of the coin, I will not work with a parent who calls me and says, what can you do to get my kid into an Ivy League school? And my response is, nothing.
Yeah.
Because, well, I can do something, but...
we're not talking about tutoring, we're talking really about packaging the student.
Exactly. It's all about strategy and packaging. That's all it's about. And my clients get that. And when they do get it, it's a nice ride for everybody.
Talk a little bit about the high points and low points of being an entrepreneur.
Well, the high points, of course, is the freedom to work on your own time and your own schedule, and in essence, to call your own shots. I don't have to answer to anybody except my client, and really my client is a 17-year-old. And I teach that 17-year-old how to take ownership of the entire college application process, which they find very exciting because for once in their lives they're finding an adult who's treating them like an adult.
Like an adult.
And
how can people reach you?
They can go on the internet and type in www.precollegeprep.com. Do you want a phone number?
Sure.
Sure. It's they can reach me at 508-520-6642. Or if they're watching this from San Francisco, they can call the 800 number. That's 888-876-1863.
And it's important to note that geography is not an issue with you. You can deal with people all over the place.
Exactly. I Skype with a lot of students in 7 states. I've worked with students for the last 2 years. I've never met them, but we see each other on screen.
Okay, so Paul, talk to people who are thinking of the entrepreneurial lifestyle and tell them yay or nay.
The entrepreneurial lifestyle is really about freedom and the ability to do what it is you want to do because you love doing what you want to do. If you can find that love, if you can find that thing that really gets you excited, gets you up in the morning, pursue that, and the world is your oyster. The downside is if you don't have a plan, if you don't have goals in place on an ongoing basis, you're setting yourself up for failure. So be careful about that.
Okay, so once again, the name of the company?
Pre-College Prep, and we're headquartered out of Norfolk, Massachusetts.
And thank you, Paul Hemphill, for being with us on this edition of Top Entrepreneur.
Thank you, John.